Listen up, I'm trying to get my chicken up. I was in the kitchen whipping up, I had to switch it up. Until they stick me in the bag and they zip it up, and I start to stiffen up, I'm trying to get my chicken up. Yup, plus bills coming quick as fuck. Bill collectors keep calling, but I ain't picking up. I did it big before, but I ain't do it big enough, cause I ain't get rich enough. I'm trying to get my chicken up. I'm trying to get to this chicken and get my chicken up. I'm trying to get to this chicken and get my chicken up. I'm trying to live it up, and even though it's getting tough, I ain't never giving up. I'm trying to get my chicken up. You gotta search for information, they keeping all of it secret. It's hard to get money and even harder to keep it. It's some cat that's from the street that I had beef with, who had a trap phone that he used to call the police with. The pistol smoke if you piss me off. All you pussies getting wet up when I start licking off. If you a bitch, admit your flaws, that's the first step. You not a boss till you cut your first check. You could go from living your best life to dying the worst step. You came into the world crying after your first breath. The sinner gotta raise, he the god of the work desk. An unbeliever starving, sleeping out on the church steps. Your chick took me to the crib to hit when we first met. I dipped after I hit and wasn't shit in her purse left. I'm always gonna collect it.
Yo, this is YMF, your mom favorite mom stickler, and we're back with some sports talk. We're talking about boxing, the greatest sport on the planet. Shit, not even MMA beats it. And I know how a lot of these guys want to shoot that narrative out there. But I appreciate both art forms. I appreciate MMA and boxing. But boxing is just since civilization was born. So, you know, we gotta get in tune with our history. Yo, first things first, rest in power Pernell Whitaker, SweetPea. You was a blessing to the sport. Your legacy will live on. And it was a heartbreak to hear how you passed on. Condolences to your family. And I hope everybody check out this man's highlights. Check out his influence and his impact on the sport of boxing. It is very important for you guys to gain your knowledge up on this man here, because it'll give you a whole perspective of the sport. Especially when you're looking at guys like Floyd Mayweather in the lower weight divisions. But we're talking about this weekend coming up, Manny Pacquiao versus Keith one-time Thurman. I believe it's a welterweight bout, fighting for a unification bout. I'm kind of confused on this being why this is a unification bout, honestly. I know Manny Pacquiao more than likely probably have like the WBO belt or something. But I know like Keith Thurman got the WBA belt. I'm not really sure how he got the belt again. I think he rescinded his belts after he didn't fight for like 2 years or something like that. His last fight before a fight he just had against Josecito Lopez was against Danny Garcia, and that fight left him with a lot of damage. So he couldn't fight for a little bit. Not for a little bit, for a lot of it. And this is why I feel like this is going to be Manny Pacquiao's night. Just the amount of inactivity that Keith Thurman has faced. The fact that Josecito Lopez, I think, is a good person to go back against when you're getting your feet wet again, because he's going to bring it. He's going to give you some trouble. But it's just unfortunate when you think about it. He had too much time off. And Manny Pacquiao has been active. And Manny Pacquiao is pretty hungry because he's been, like in some people's eyes, he's been robbed against some guys. And Manny Pacquiao know that he can't afford not to be constantly bringing that pressure, not to be constantly putting combinations together and hurting his opponent, trying to get his opponent out of there. And I ain't gonna lie, Keith Thurman looked pretty slow in this last fight against Josecito Lopez. And you cannot sacrifice speed when you go against Manny Pacquiao. I know Manny Pacquiao is in his 40s, his early 40s, but you cannot sacrifice speed against Manny Pacquiao. That is just a recipe for disaster, for absolute disaster. And it might be, I'm not going to say it's a bloodbath, because Manny Pacquiao isn't his younger self. Manny Pacquiao was his younger self. it most definitely would have been a bloodbath. It would have been nothing you can do to stop that man. He would have just mauled him. And I mean, even the Keith Thurman before Danny Garcia, pre-Danny Garcia fight, Keith Thurman was an issue. He was a huge problem. Honestly, I think when he went against Collazo, and Collazo the clash of heads that gave him like a big pooling of blood in his forehead, I think that's when Keith Thurman started having like health issues. I mean, they said he always had health issues usually, but I think that's when he started really feeling mortal in the ring. Because before that, he should be in the war. He should be banging it out with guys a lot more. But then I realized after that fight, it seemed like he became more like he was aware of his mortality. So like you see him in the Sean Porter fight, that was a great fight, a hellacious fight. Check it out. But you can even see in that fight like he was much more cautious. He wasn't trying to just throw caution to the wind. And Sean Porter, you know how that guy fights. He's just, you know, a mauler. He just keep throwing. You can see it when Sean Porter fight against Paulie Malignaggi. That's how he destroyed Paulie Malignaggi. But you know, that was a great fight. Sean Porter, Keith Thurman. I think they should be running it back again. But honestly, the winner of this fight, in my opinion, they can't go back to any of those other guys like Danny Garcia or Sean Porter. The only guy that everybody in the division, the welterweight division, should be looking at is Errol Spence Jr. And I wish I had a picture of Errol Spence, but you know what? I can do that. I can definitely do that. I can definitely bring that up real quick. And one thing about y'all know, I can do these videos where I can do a bunch of editing and shit, but I like to just go off my thoughts. I don't do scripts. I'm not like the rest of them bloggers you be watching. I'm not really a blogger. I'm just a man with many interests, and I just like to share it with you guys. I'm also about direct talk. I'm about to start bringing out more blogs with direct talk about hypocrisy from everyone, women, religion, politics, whatever. We're gonna get to talking, man. Because honestly, where we heading is getting crazy, man. But this man's a beast right here. Let me show you guys. Like this is who they should be going up against after this matchup. Errol Spence Jr. After the winner of Keith Thurman versus Manny Pacquiao, y'all have to call out Errol Spence Jr. after this fight. I don't believe Errol Spence Jr. have any fights lined up. Matter of fact, let's look at like BotchRec and see if Errol Spence have any fights lined up currently. Okay. Errol Spence Jr., the truth. 25 wins, 21 knockouts, 0 losses, 0 draws. His last fight was against Mikey Garcia. That was a great fight. I felt like Errol Spence could have knocked out Mikey Garcia whenever he felt like it. But let that man live. So no, you don't have no fights lined up, man. So it's only right when Keith Thurman wins, especially if Keith Thurman wins, because he's a young guy, right? Errol Spence about 29, he's 29. Keith Thurman's 30, so they about the same age. It's like it's only right, man. Both undefeated. He got 29 wins, 22 KOs. If he beat Manny Pacquiao, I'm not picking him to beat Manny Pacquiao though, due to his inactivity, how he looked against Josecito Lopez. Before that, the Danny Garcia fight, I kind of gave it to Danny Garcia, but I'm not upset at the decision to give it to Keith Thurman. I feel like, you know, he just has a lot to do. And honestly, if he beats Manny Pacquiao, he has no excuse not to fight Errol Spence Jr. Errol Spence has a belt. You get another belt from, I believe, Manny Pacquiao. Do Manny Pacquiao have a belt? And this is another thing too, man. This is what I'm facing in the battle rap community. They're telling me, you don't know certain things, you don't know Old Red. Like, who the fuck is Old Red, man? But look, in boxing, can't lie, I haven't been up to date with everything, but I am aware of this Manny Pacquiao Keith Thurman fight. Trust me. don't get into a boxing debate with me. Any of you, man. I challenge anybody in the boxing community, anybody in the battle rap community, anybody in any community that think they know this boxing shit. Come challenge me. MMA fighters, if y'all think, not MMA fighters, but MMA bloggers that think that MMA is superior to boxing and shit, come debate me, man. Make me change my mind. I bet you I change yours. But look, man, I got Manny Pacquiao, man. I don't feel like it'll probably, I feel like it'll be a late knockout. If not a late knockout, because it's not going to be no early knockout. Keith Thurman, he's very good on his feet. He's very light. He moves. And I feel like once he feels Manny Pacquiao punch, he's going to try to be a little bit more cautious like he's been in his last couple fights. And that's going to make him look sloppy. Manny Pacquiao, though, he telegraphed his punches too much. So, you know what? I'm going to scratch that knockout and say Manny Pacquiao for decision. He telegraphs too much. But honestly, if Keith Thurman, if he settles in, if he gets back into that old zone that he used to have before he got that the clash of heads with Luis Collazo, I feel like if Manny Pacquiao about to telegraph his punch, or you see like with the telegraphing, he could be like a Marquez and hit him with a check hook, left hook, or a devastating right hand. And Keith Thurman has power in both hands. That's why he calls himself one time. He can hit you one time, you out. But his power hasn't been showing up lately. We'll see what happens this Saturday. So, but my pick is Manny Pacquiao, either late KO or decision. I'm leaning more towards a decision the more I think about it, but a late KO, that would be lovely to see. It would definitely propel Manny Pacquiao back into the spotlight. I mean, he's still a legend, his name still rings bells, but that will definitely propel him back into the spotlight. Something crazy. You knocked out one of the prospects of the big names, or the big young names in welterweight division. You came back and destroyed him. Even if he didn't look all that great in his last 2 outings, he's undefeated. You knocked him out. That would be a great showdown between him and Errol Spence. But you know what? He don't even have to shoot Errol Spence because he's a fucking legend. But that would be a great fight, a great showdown. So I got Manny Pacquiao in this fight, man. Whoever win this fight, though, you gotta call out Errol Spence. Let's get it on. This is why I'm after your mom favorite, the mom stickler. Salute to y'all, man. Salute to the whole boxing community. Salute to the real battle rap community. We steady working.